Hey everyone, welcome back. Let us continue to dive deep on the workouts program where we're going to decompose the workouts program in multiple files. And in the previous video, we have been separate the parser from the workouts, and we have the main with like the code driver and perform the same action at the workouts, but here we're using the parser instead of writing more into the main function. So if you run the same program for using the workout to get the top frequency work in a test file, it can be look pretty simple like the workout program. So here it will return the top 6. But the reason we try to separate one big program into multiple files, and we have the one main program to utilize those files and run at the normal because it helps to maintain the code base and help us to writing the unit test and also help to perform better. That's why we need to separate, and that is not a good practice to have one giant file contain like 1,000 lines of code, and they have the different functionality. So that is highly recommend to separate it. In here, we already have a parser file, which contain the log parser and on the log entry into the data class. So we're going to create another file called the counter .py for Python, of course. So this file is focused on work-related operations, and it can use the parser to get lines, then count the top works, or searching for specific ones with the option log filtering. Pretty much this is like single responsibility in one class, one job, just counting the work. That pretty much for this class. In here, of course, start on we going to get the parser because they stay in the same repository. So you only need one doc, and you're gonna import the log parser. This is what we need, and we will have the class called the work counter. In here, you will define a function initialize. So in Python, here the syntax, self, and then you have line. I think that is pretty much one parameter unique for initialize a work counter class. And this one, you can assign a line into equal line. So whatever the user passing as the parameter for initialization, the work counter, that what we gonna get. And furthermore, we gonna have another function called the work the top count the top work as you already know. You know what? Actually, let me open another screen and to show you how the count top work function look like, so it can be easy for all other people who new or to follow. So let me open up 1 second. Yes, here you go. You can look at in other screen, the another terminal. You can see the workouts problem. We will take the file path and the top input, which the user we put in the command lines for the number of works, the top frequency works they would like to return. So we're gonna do the same thing, but in here again, because you define this as a class, you need a self, and then you're gonna have the top and work just like other. And in this one, you can again do the boring thing like comma double double double. I think that enough for 3. And you will set like this one to get the description of this function, the top and most common work in the entire test file. We can call that log file later, but for now, for bad practice, just call that the test file because we going to through on the test file anyway. And go down here. Of course, just like similar, you will have you declare a new variable called tag, and you would like to join every line you read out from the test file, and you want to put them at the lowercase, and you will need the work link, and you will get that from the parser class, which you can go back and review by yourself instead of me showing you guys, right? Yeah, and then you can extract the works. How do you know that? I can show you 1 second. And here for now, try and save. So in here, if you open the browser, you can see right here we have a method called the extract work, and it will return on the regular present pattern you find in the text underline. So that's why you can use them in the counter. You continue and you're looking for the work count because like unique, just similar right here. You can see you want the top work count here, and you going to need a collection counter for a counter from the collection list. And in here, you can do the same thing, the counter and the work. So basically, the count top works is exactly the same with the count work we have in the previous program, but in here, instead of like getting them in one file, we just separate them in one file. I mean that instead of like putting in one big file, we separate this function into one class, so we can call them in any program we try to write later. So that is pretty good practice in coding. Anyway, you have the work count, then you just need to return the work count dog mod common with the top and again in here like we have the try and cut exception, so we can try to do the same thing. We can do that in a little bit, but not now. So you return to the top end, and another function as you seeing here, we have the search specific work. We also like take the search work click and also like the level, the log level as well. So in here, you're going to define search specific work and cell again, and unique search work and log level. You for by default you can set it equal no, just like the function. And again, you need to give that description with like 3 pair of double quote, users and cow specific work, optionally filter by log level. Yes, because log level is optional, you can set that or not, it's up on you, but we can define later. And again, in here, we can declare variable called the work count equal the counter, and we going to iterate to on the single line in the test file we have as we declare in the top here, in the top function initialize right here, and you declare the function called entry. So pretty much it similar what we have in the search specific work, but in here instead of directly passing the file path, we have a class that is taking the search work and the log level only, because we're going to have them put the file path later in the main class, or maybe we're going to modify that in another file, maybe the CLI file or the processor. I don't know. For now, I'm just gonna like to pass the two parameter that is search work and the log level. And again, just keep going. So for the entry, you can use the log parser, and you can pass the log entry for the line. We already have that in the logger. That is one of the function we wrote, right? And then if the log level, and we can check if the log level, and we also check like if not entry, so it means like we don't have any line empty, or the entry dot level dot lower. So on the we convert that on the single case lowercase, and if not equal any log level we looking for, or any log level the user passing in the terminal command line. Then we will just continue just like here. So you can see here, we check if the line match for specific log level when the user provide. If not, we just continue. And we're gonna go down and find further work from you by taking the parser function, and we extract the work in the line like that. Yeah, just again, exactly the search specific works in the work count program, but the difference here, like we put them in the class for more structure, for easy to maintain and easy to use in the multiple program later. So that is the whole purpose of separating or decompose a big program into small utilized programs. And again, so going, we're gonna have the work count. We update the work. For anyone new to this video, if you wonder how I get it here, try to go back and rewatch, or like just watch the previous video where when I started this playlist for Python. Though my goals is try to show the application of programming in real life scenario, or any like work type of scenario, or maybe just like the common question you're gonna get during the interview. And you return, you want a link, right? So it will be similar right here. You return the count for specific work and iterate through the search work to get the results. So you're gonna return work lower work count gas work lower. Okay. Maybe I'm gonna have the problem with tapping, like tap O later, but for now just keep going, keep writing as we go. And if the problem, we can go back and fix that later. That is the fun thing of writing programs. I mean, so that on, I believe that on we need for the counter function, counter class. Oh, I mean the counter file. Oh, I need to get from collection import counter. We need this one. Okay, that is pretty much for the word counter. Now let's write the processor class. So we're gonna create a file called the processor.py. In here, it also going to get the parser, and you're gonna import the log parser and the log entry. Just friendly remind us in the parser class that we wrote like two class. One is the main class called log parser, and another is data entry. So basically, just contain two fields. If you want to know more, just go back and watch my previous video. And we're gonna have class log pro. Oh man, process. So I don't know how to spelling. Damn it. And at onway, you need to initialize this class cell, and you need a line where you passing on every single line in the test file that we going to go through and scan them. And now in here, we're gonna cell doc line equal line, and we need another function called the get log entry by the level. We pretty much just like here. You look at the process log class, process it right here. You look at the process log function. That is pretty much what we're gonna write. Just I just change the naming for maybe more meaningful. I don't know, but just like get log entry by level, and again we need a cells and we need a log level, and it's just friendly reminder that always we need a decryption. Just use the three pair of double quote from bad practice. Get log entry for a specific log level. Here you go. And in this one, of course, we need the entry, the log entry. You can call that log entry just like the process log function. And we declare that at the empty link, and we go into the every single line. We declare the entry gonna be called log parser pass log entry. The wording of doing I'm gonna say the wording. One of the big advantages working in Vim, when you call out a class from another utilized file, that it doesn't have the suggestion or autofill. But if you do that in VS Code or different IDE, maybe Cursor, one of the top really famous right now for IDE, you can see that we're gonna tell you and fill out on the or autofill for you. But in here, I have the note on my side and I know what function I'm gonna write. Yes, a little bit cheating, but who cares? So if the entry and the entry level lawyer equal the log level dot lawyer entry, you're gonna append the entry to the log entry link. So if the entry, so it'll be log entry, you append the entry, and then that is pretty much just return the log entry. And again, maybe some people we add like why here have the try and exception block. to validate the codes to hit when they hitting to the error exception. And because in this video I try to write to utilize class, the counter, and the processor. So maybe I can apply that later. For now, I just want the code to run. That's pretty much what I try to accomplish in this video. Save it. Now let's go to main class, and we going to try to like use them in here. So pretty much maybe we don't need this anymore. So let me close it. Yeah, so in here we in the main function probably we going to remove a lot of code in here. Probably yes. But before that, let me try to say okay, first we need to get the counter and we're gonna import the work counter class and we gonna get the processor. We're gonna import log processor. We can check about the name later, but for now, alright, so we going to delete on the function we already have moving to the old class at the work counter program, and let's do that pretty quick right now. And if you do, for example, if you want to delete like 10 line or like 5 lines, it's gonna be number 5 and dd. That is how much number apply you create. So in here, we can try to remove everything until the main class only. So pretty much, I'm going to do like, for example, like 20 dd. That is pretty much another line maybe 20 dd. Yeah, maybe 10. It's fun, right? It's gonna be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe like a dd. So it means like a delete a line. So here we have one. So we have dd1 1 1, and we only need this driver code in main. That is there. So pretty, right? See how much space, how much the number apply. We're gonna cut it off. But now let's try to modify this file now. Yeah, in here pretty much the same thing. We still checking they have to be if they smaller than two parameters with they passing in the command lines, then we go into exec and tell them the menu or like the guidance how to use this program. And again, we still need to get the file path. However, remember like because we didn't have the try and except block to handle the error exception, in here we can do it because everything will be useless if we couldn't get the file path utilized to the program, right? Gonna be so we're gonna try and line going to be equal the log parser. We use the log parser class. We try to read the file where we passing the file path. Uh-oh. And if we have the except, for example, like exceptional exception, I mean the exception at the error, we just kind of bring out and accept this error. And that is what we need, and we also just system music the program one. All right. So we going to ignore the script name and file path argument because we assuming we going to when the user passing the the argument in the terminal to run this program, we get through here and in here we will have the argument argument they can in here we only care the any argument after 1 is mean the first two. We already know that if the program name right here, Python and work cow, maybe probably this can be main, no longer the work cow, right? Yeah, Iki. So here we only start from the second one. So let me make the command Illinois script name, file path, e argument 0. Yeah, and now we're going to do the same thing. We're gonna check if the len first in here, if the len greater than 2. We're gonna do the same thing, greater or equal to, and the argument 1 equal the log. The AK we're gonna do like if they not equal 3, because again in here you already like try to ignore, so you stream out the list of argument into the from the input, so you don't want to get the script name, so that is like Python main will cut up. So that's why like you will check the length from here now on if that is greater than or equal to, and the first one will equal to log level, and you're gonna check the AK with the length and argument vector gonna be not equal 3, then just bring out yo. You need to provide a single log or after blah blah blah, but that is how you use it. And you also going to kick them up. Here we go. Yeah, that is how we're gonna deal with that. And in here with the log level, in now it's not gonna be 3 anymore. It get the in that 2, and the processor log, like we have the entry, we have the extract, the time, we have everything. In here we have like yo blah blah blah. We might not need that anymore. Yeah, we don't need that anymore. So instead, we declare the function called processor equal log processor, and you passing the line. Yes, so you passing the log line where like you get us from the right here. So that makes sense. Okay. If that doesn't make sense for you, just follow along. Follow along. You will see why I writing what I'm writing right now. And in here, when we get the processor, we get the entry, the log entry. Yes, what is the log entry gonna be? How do we get it? So we're gonna use the processor. We get log entry by level, and you put the log level on. So we can see like how we got the entry and bring out. Just say log entry for log level. We got that log level we passing, so you want them to be upper. It's mean upper K. And in here, we got like time, just exactly how we have that down here. But instead of going through the entry, we already have the processor that doing the job for us. So timestamp log level. Uh-huh. Yeah, maybe I should start copy and paste instead of keep tapping. That can be make our life so much easy. So you're not not going to need this, anymore, and this not go anywhere because like you have the entry. Oh no, actually you need this one. So if you this one, you're gonna modify that a little bit. So log entry. So it's matching, huh? Except but a little bit time, isn't it? Yeah. So if the log entry is not no, so it means we have something. Then we're gonna go and in here we're gonna go to like for the entry in log entry. We don't need this. So if we need the entry, actually, let me modify this a little bit. So we don't need this. Probably, yeah, this one just need to modify this one a little bit. Huh, it doesn't listen to me anymore. So let's see how can. Okay, so if we have the log entry and in the log entry, let's see. Let me double check what is the process log entry is. The processor. So the log entry it return for us a list. Go back to main. So we have if the entry and then for maybe. So we're gonna run this like for entry in log entries. We're going to bring the timestamp and the level, right? And you know what? Actually, let me do this. So timestamp gonna be entry. Uh oh, where were we? Here we got the entry dot timestamp, and we have the entry dot level. If I anticipate correctly, but let's see if we get it correctly. But that is pretty much, and we're going to do the same thing with the rest of program. All right, to save your time, I'm just pause and try to get everything we want in here. That is pretty much like a dig, just kind of like copy and paste from the previous file we have for the rest of the mains and modify it and make it work. And in here again, when we talking about search function, we're gonna have to dig up search work. Probably I don't know if I remember if we have the search functionalities in all the log parser and work counter or not. Let me double check. Right and quick. And here, so here, so we're gonna cast out the parser. It seems like we don't have the search function. Wait, I will try to sneak it in one of the parser or processor, or maybe when we have the CLI's file probably. But for now, yes, so that's what we have right here. As you already see, we utilize the log parser, the counter, and the processor. Instead of like writing in the top up apply driver code, you just need to utilize them under the main function. Now let's test it to see if it run or not. Probably we're gonna fail at the first time, but who knows? So we're gonna do the same thing. Man, Uh, yeah, main, and we're gonna search for example, top 7. Oh, that's the problem. What's it? Syntax, close parentheses, line number 37. See, what is the problem? Oh, I see. Close parentheses doesn't match any of open parentheses. Oh, you're gonna go to line 7 by colon, tab number 7. It will bring you there. There no matching. Oh yeah, because we forgot this one. So we open parenthesis, but we don't close parenthesis. One issue at a time. Trace import from log attempt related import with no parent packaging. So it seems like it complained about the counter. So let's go to the counter. Import parser import. Is that correct? Let double let double check in main again. So, oh, okay, I see. So we need only a dog before it. So counter. Yes, exiting the same directory, so we don't need those. And see whatever we need. Maybe the processor. Yeah, we don't need this dog here. What else do we need? See, let me clean out and try again. Now, no call lesson. Oh my god, my tapping. Counter call lesson. Cell live processor. Line number 10. Cell doc line. Entry for line. In line. Here you go. So now it's running and we looking for that. Oh my god, that was many problem. But again, you can see that is how it look like when you search. Now let's try the log level. So we're gonna use, for example, on the work we have. For example, we search for the word hello world. You see, it again it got a problem. Line number 19, the hellos. So likely in the main line number 69 colon 69. Gotcha. So we need to provide a search parameter. That's it, the reason. I have not used this one for a week and I totally forgot everything. So here you go. You see, thus we're gonna have the work search hello blah blah blah. And now if we try to search for the log level, how do we use for log level? Let me check the syntax again. Again, like I haven't touched this one for a week or like 2 weeks probably, and I completely forgot what I'm looking for. So in here, you're gonna put the log level, and you're looking for the log level severity you're looking for. Okay, cool. So we're gonna go out and log level. And furthermore, we're looking for error. Oh, number signal. Oh, did I use the syntax incorrect again? Huh. So this is something we can enhance later when we have a chance to handle this one better. But for now, let's try to test our course we wrote first. So the search work. So if we do like main symbol level log for error, I wonder if we have that file. Yes. Okay. So actually we don't have the log file. Let's copy it out from the previous directory. It can be here. Now let's try with this file. Level log error. Huh. Let's check to see what is the problem. So this one does because it doesn't hit up here where we have the level log script name and number 2, 3 greater than here. I wonder if we ever getting here. So we're getting here. Let's walk through this logic again. So when we passing the file name log level, we cover the X case. Okay. And we get the log level. Oh, I see. It's supposed to be maybe argument 2. Yeah, that's what it's supposed to be. Okay, let's try it out. If saying this is fixing the problem we have. Still? Huh, interesting. See. What did we mix here? So basically it didn't go through here. And let me try to put the debug message. You are here. Now if you try to run it. Oh, so it skipped that one. So there's something we're mixing when passing this log level in the file. So let's go back to main. Oh, that's silly of me doing thing. So in here, like we already take enoi and we got the new variable called the arguments. But in here we still use system argument. Oh my god, why am I doing this? So gonna be here, gonna be argument line of this greater than 1, and in here we also have the argument s. So this one then is supposed to be get here, so let's try it out. Hopefully get there. So we got everything right. Yeah, so try again. You are here, yo. You need to provide a single log after log, but I did, right? So at least like we get into the that statement. So now let's go to see like what we are mixing here. You need to provide a single log level after this. So it seems like we're streaming a little bit too much, and it cut out some functionality a bit. So let's go back. And one again. This is supposed to be arguments. Yeah, yeah. Oh my god. Now try again. Okay, here you go. The log entry for Arab timestamp, but we don't have any time log time stem and log bring out anything. So that is another problem. Let's try to get that too. So we get down here to get the entry. However, it seems like our entry in nodes. That's why it didn't go through this for loop and get us a timestamp. Let's see. Let's go back and check in the processor to see if the get log entry by level is correctly. Alright. Oh, quick vi processor get log entry log level. So in here, actually let me cast out. What's what the log file look like? Yeah, it does have the error in there. So, but like when we're catching out, it doesn't return anything, and that is very interesting. Now go back to the main. We know we in here, so I don't need this debugger bring anymore. And oh, let's see if we can get this out here. Okay, yo, lock it. If we can get to like any log level timestamp, if the log entry doesn't match anything, so let's click and run this. So it couldn't find the log level for some reason. We like the entry, so the log entry. Let's check again, and it get the log level. Of course, it get the log level, and see entry get log level document 2. Yeah, you search your process. So the log processor line. Okay, you get the log entry equal processor. So somewhere in here that's messed up because the log entry is empty. I wonder if log processor is correct, then why the line is not correct. And hmm, let me think. You know what? Let's put some more debug messages in here to see if we can get anything back from line. So in here, bring line. You see, gonna get on the line, and why the entry doesn't get at anything, then we can go and check this methods in the processor. But at least we know like where it happened, right? Hopefully. Now run it. So we get every line we need, and it doesn't give us the log entry back. Which like completely doesn't make sense. Why the processor doesn't like it? Log processor got the line. Processor gets line. So we open the process. Seeing this function look correct for me, I have more question about this log processor. If we get any entry back, and again, to debug it better, I'm going to put a message here to see if we have any entry. Bring entry. If we have any entry to return, it can be interesting. But the entry and the log entry can be to see like how we're gonna use this thing here. You know what? Actually, curious to see what it returned first. Let's do it now. So maybe we uncomment this one. All right. It returned no. So it's basically the log entry didn't give it any entry. Now I'm more curious on the parser we roll with the parsing the log. So the entry doesn't matter. It means we doesn't have any entry returns. So let's debug this passing log entry with the regular expression we're building here. Oh, I see what is the problem. So it seems like this one we get the match in here. I wonder if we ever get the match. So let's bring it out to bring if we have any match. Well, I believe we don't. It seems like this regular expression have the space in the middle. So let's see. So DTT, yeah, D2, and after that, I don't think we're supposed to have the D3, D3. Yeah, let's try this. Now let's try again. So the mat object, we got the info by the entry log level. Oh, we make the process. So we have different problem now. So that is in the processor, the entry enough. Oh, okay, I see, I see, I see. So if we go back to the parser, and in here you can see like we passing the match to the wrong one. So we have the timestamp and the log level. So you're supposed to be passing them in here. So log entry timestamp equal the first group, and the second group will be level log level equal this mask upper, which I believe this time is correct. Now we go back to the processor and we append entry gonna be log level here. uh. So entry log level, right? Yeah, I believe so. Now try again. Actually, let me clean out here. Try again with this. Okay, so entry log level line number 43 in the main. See, we got on the logout at least. So let's go and fix this pretty quick on main. So it should be log level, not like entry level. So main line number 40 colon 40 timestamp. We got that one, and this one's supposed to be log level. Right, and quick again. Try again. Here we go. Now we got the time. Now let's clean up on the print statement a little bit. So we don't want to print this in here. And try again. Now we got the log entry warning and the log level time, and if you look at right here, you can see it. Now let's go to main, clean more debug statement. We have the log level, log entry stem, and we got every entry timestamp. We only want the one it's matching for us. So log entry timestamp. So again, you can see that it bring out. I'm lazy to go and clean more like print statement where I put. So quick, I believe. Yeah, that's the entry. Right and quick and run again. Here you go. Finally, we got it. Oh my gosh, look at that. You see, it take a lot of time for us to debugging. However, if we have the web structure, we know where it happened. and we can know where we're supposed to put the debug statement to bring out what level we need. But again, yes, click on, I'm adding two files more, that is the processor and the counter, and the functions of the main perform at the same time as the counter for on the action. And this for this video, I'm kind of tired, to be honest. I don't know why I keep coding in the end of the day, but that's what I do for living and what I love to do. So anyway, if you like, give me the thumb up. If you have any question, put down in the comment section, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for the next video to see like where we going to decompose more in this man. Right now the man's still a little bit ugly, you know. Bye.